Singh ji. Pranam ma'am, welcome to Punarnava at Natyarambha. Thank you so much for blessing us, the series, with your presence. To me, Dr. Sonal Mansingh ji epitomizes courage. She epitomizes, embodies the power of the human spirit. Ma'am, your story remains etched in my memory. A story that I read about when I was a young student at Kalakshetra, of your life's biggest challenge and your own Punarnava or renewal, a resurrection through dance. Ma'am, we are all here to learn from that renewal, from that resurrection. We're all eager to learn from it. Over to you, ma'am.
Ananda, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Your name is Ananda. So your mission in life is to spread Ananda. While you have mentioned, I know what you mean by Punarnava, that particular one incident, I would like to just digress a little bit and go a little backward in years to 1963, last century. Because you said life-changing incidents, and also where your inner courage, the conviction, courage of conviction happened maybe at that time without thinking too much. Because courage of conviction, the word courage is not enough. Courage of conviction, that matters to me a lot. Because unless you have convictions and the courage to follow them, come what may, the courage alone is not enough. So anyway, 63, when I finished my BA, and that's a well-known incident, my family wanted me to do different things. And what came out of my mouth was that I want to dance only, having done my BA and all that. And the courage thereafter to face the storm in the family, because as long as dance was also, you know, the difference between also and only. So also was okay, only was not okay. And at that time, Bombay Gujarati family, grandfather having been governor of four times and all that, I had the courage to run away from home to my gurus in Bangalore. Today you can fly.
Yeah.
Those years, one had to change train at Pune and take a meter gauge, the small one, to Bangalore. So that was the turning point, if I may say so, the first turning point where the inner courage of conviction was displayed. I didn't think that way then. The consciousness came much later. Then the courage to face social ostracization. When I separated from my first husband, to face gossips and open animosity from the government as well as from the society. Added to that was my opposition to Indira Gandhi's emergency, where my courage was in full display, as opposed to many leading dancers, musicians, leading, eminent, who went all the way with them. And I had the courage to be blacked out from all government functions, television, radio, festivals, grants, accommodation. Can you imagine? Okay, so till it's only now at the end of my life that I have government accommodation for the first time in my life, and that too for 4 years more. That's okay. So that was the second. Third one, then I come before that to what you were referring to. I think you were referring to my car accident, if I'm not mistaken. Yes? In
Yes.
Germany.
Yes.
And those years, there was not one Germany. It was divided. It was West Germany and East Germany. So where I was teaching the international dance festival, International Theatre Festival, I was teaching a dance masterclass for entire 10 days, 2 weeks. That was near the border of East and West Germany.
Mm.
And it was a triangle. There was at that time Czechoslovakia, at that time the communist East Germany and West Germany. And therefore, it was not a very populated area, although Bayreuth, not Beirut of Lebanon, Bayreuth of Germany, which was the center of Wagner, the great composer, opera writer, musician, Wagner. His entire operas were performed there annually. 2 years, 3 years before tickets were sold out. It was that kind of a prestige. That's where I was teaching. So when we went over the weekend with my German fiancé to Nuremberg, close by, a very famous city, Nuremberg trials, very black chapter in the history of World War II, but Nuremberg with the beautiful museums and churches and a capella, as they call. So we went to spend a weekend with our painter friend. And therefore, there was hardly any saman, bags. It was just overnight. We had rented a Beetle Volkswagen at that time. At that time, again, remind you, there were no safety belts in the cars. And Volkswagen, the Beetle, is very strange. The dicky for the baggage is in the front, and the car machine is at the back. Now, dicky was empty because our little overnight bag was in the car. And at night, when we were returning the next day, late night, it was drizzling, raining, forests on both sides, and almost deserted autobahn back to Bayreuth. And a deer jumped right in front of the car because they used to crisscross the animals. Now listen carefully, Ananda. Today we are all living in cities. We are not used to the rules of how to drive on in forest lands. The rules say, come what may, don't put the brake, don't jam the brake. Even today, before braking in the city traffic, I bring the car from 4th to 2nd gear. I drive my car myself, even today. I enjoy it. And then slowly apply the brakes. But then when the deer is shining in front of your car lights, the brakes were jammed, and the car, because it was empty in the front, did somersaults. 3 somersaults. And the door flung open, and I was thrown out on the autobahn, almost 15 feet away. Dar. And my German fiancé was jammed between the wheel and the seat. I passed out, and to cut it short, luckily, see, nothing is a coincidence, Ananda, in life. Everything happens to take you forward, to teach you a lesson, and to make you stronger. A car had been following, they were going somewhere far away, but they saw this accident. And from the roadside phone, they called the police. And when the police came and they called the ambulance came from a nearby town, Pegnitz. It all must have taken at least 20, 25 minutes. I was lying on the road.
My God.
And then they sort of put me there and they took me to the Pegnitz General Hospital, where I was sort of, I came to and tried to open my eyes. The pain was excruciating. That's the one word I can use. It's still in my head. And they made x-rays and they said that we cannot treat her here. It's a very serious accident. You'll have to take her to Erlangen, the famous city where all the specialized clinics are situated. And Erlangen is also the headquarters of Siemens, Siemens, the big multinational international company. So that special ambulance, we went to Erlangen. I was kept in the corridor for a long time until they could find a bed, all that. 3 days I was kept on foam rubber. The doctors had to decide what to do with me because they found out that apart from my 2 collarbones and 4 ribs, which were cracked, broken, powdered, this was powdered. So even today, I don't have a well-formed collarbone you can see. Here there is something, here hardly anything. The ribs, of course, healed later. The most serious was that in the spine, the discs, one upon another, between which the cord, the thinner than hair that passes through, and the 12th vertebra had completely powdered.
Oh my God.
And this cord, this thread, was just a hair's inch away from breaking. So they said what to do with this, and they had to ask the patient the ethics of medicine. So they were asking, and my German fiance was translating. Either an operation where they put the steel rod in my back, or, I said, what's or? I mean, I could only that. But my eyes, I couldn't speak. It was all broken. Or give you a plaster cast and allow nature to take over. Being Indian, I suppose, when they said put a rod, plaster cast, that's it, just blinking. So, what came to be known as Roman torture was perpetrated on me. I was hung, I was swinging between 2 tables, from shoulders down to the knee, swinging. And that is how they started applying layers upon layers of whatever medicines and whatever, and cotton and I believe I was sweating and I was white as a sheet. But being the Indian dancer, there was not one sound, chung, ah, nothing. Those doctors have hung my photographs in their clinics. And they said, we have never come across another one like her. So it was a 4 kilo, weighing 4 kilos from neck to hips, which I carried on me for a long time. And from there, I had to be shifted to Montreal, where my German fiancé was director of the Goethe Institute. And that journey is another odyssey. Odyssey. Oh my God. I get goosebumps when I think of it. And it took about almost a year with the Canadian chiropractor taking up a challenge with the German doctors who had said, she will never dance again, may walk normally in 2 years. And good luck to her. And God bless her. They did all that when I left the hospital in the ambulance. My French-Canadian chiropractor, my angel, who hardly knew me but had seen me dance in Montreal a few months before I had gone to Bayreuth in Germany. He heard about it. He left a summer chalet vacation, came running back to Montreal. He wept. He made new x-rays. He brought his machines. He discussed. And then he had told me, Sonal, I will let you know whether German doctors were right or I will be right. And I couldn't make sense of it. So when he came back after 3 weeks and he said, Sonal, I'm afraid. And I started crying. Sonal, I'm afraid you will be able to dance again. And he said, I had to kickstart your whole system because you had given up. So Ananda, when you give up your courage, you give up your convictions, you give up your values, you give up your aim in life, you compromise, you begin to wither. So never do that. And I till today say, bless him. That brought me back to my dancing feet. It was a long, arduous journey, Ananda. Thereafter also I have, faced a lot of challenges, but that's the one which was physical, emotional, artistic, social, spiritual.
Simply unbelievable, man. It's simply unbelievable. I mean, I had goosebumps just listening to tears in my eyes. Though I've read this story, I've heard this a million times, but hearing it from you live was if I don't know what to say. It was something else. You actually epitomize that power of the human spirit which I was talking about, and you dipped deep into this idea which you said, which you ended with saying that giving up is an option you did not take. You refused to take the option of giving up. We all give up very easily. So this is an option you did not take, and that's a big lesson for all of us to take back today. Ma'am, during this journey.
What is it, ma'am?
What do I call you?
You call me normally, Akka, you call me, no?
Okay.
You call me Akka.
I don't call you Akka. I call you ma'am.
Always do.
Okay. Sonal ji, is that better? No, Akka. Okay.
Okay. Fine.
I know you drew strength from a lot of things. For you, the path as well as the goal was dance. The path was difficult, full of thorns, full of pain, full of stress. During this time, what were the different few things you dipped into? Your own courage, you said, but any other few elements of who you are, your training, your learning, your upbringing, your personality, your support system, your lifeline. I don't know. What are those 3 other things that you might have dipped into where the goal is dance, which was your biggest strength? Your pathway was dance, but there must have been something else.
As I said earlier, Ananda, that I could run away from home at the tender age of 19 or 18. If any one of you, your shishyas and friends, can go on my Facebook page and listen or view my Facebook lives, which are saved, I've spoken a lot about my upbringing, my family, my gurus, which started series from yesterday. So the what we call samskara.
Right.
So samskara that you imbibe, which are layered upon layered upon layered. You know, the layers begin to fall. At home, speaking in Gujarati, my mother tongue. At home, and as in my Gujarati medium school, learning Hindi, Gujarati, Sanskrit as a matter of fact. At home, in family, and at school, celebrating festivals, Indian festivals. If I may say so, Hindu festivals. I want to be very clear about it. We never celebrated Christmas. We did not celebrate Eid. We did not celebrate at home. Although my grandfather and my family had Parsi friends, Muslim friends, Christian friends who came and brought their things, and we wished them. And we sent them our goodies, you know, the mithais and all that. But the Indian Hindu festivals, third thing, that reading, the love for reading.
Yes.
My grandfather had a Vistrut, great library. So even reading Ramayana, Mahabharata, the Hitopadesha, the Panchatantra, the Puranic stories, I used to love them. And participating in dance dramas in school, I was Ram, I was Arjun, and Brahannala. There are photos of me with this painted mustache. So I think all that combined from childhood to give me a very solid background and a solid rooting, the roots in a very solid earth. There was no fluff. There was no fluff. It was all very crystal clear. Something had to be done, they had to be done. Etiquettes had to be maintained, they had to be maintained. You had to bow and touch the feet and say, Namaste, Dadaji, Jai Jai, Dadaji. You had to say that.
Yes.
There was no ha ha, hoo. No, you have to do it, you have to do it. It was a matter of fact.
Yes. Yes.
Apart from that, I think my gurus, you know, especially my gurus with whom I started yesterday,
Yes.
Professor U.S. Krishna Rao and Srimati Chandrabhaga Devi, they also gave me so much. Like that, I have gone forward. And sometimes we are all like the bee, Bhramara. We are taking the fragrance and the rasa and making our own honey.
Oh,
now, I'm saying something very different.
Yes, yes, yes.
Making honey, which is our art, making honey, which is our understanding of the world, making honey of rasa that we experience, but as the bee never tastes the honey itself. It is for others. Our art also should be for others. The sharing is very important. And that is what I think I have learned, that my gharana, my composition, my choreography, my idea, it has never occurred to me. And so I always say, Ananda, copyright is an idea that is not from the Indian soil. It has come from somewhere.
Yes.
Here, there is no copyright. It's free distribution of knowledge. It's free distribution. Who knows who made all the Mela Karta ragas and this raga and the Thaat in hand, the Tulsi Das and Surdas and the Vedic rishis and the Puranic and what is the copyright? Where is the copyright? We are freely using them, and then now today artists are saying my copyright, because I'm sorry, we are in virtual space.
Correct.
YouTube, how to monetize your art. That is now the question. If I'm right, you agree with me? On one side is the ideal situation where there is no copyright, there is a free sharing.
Yeah.
But on the other side now, with this lockdown and the social situation and the bleak time, the bleak years ahead, now comes the real problem, how to resolve it. Somebody like me, yeah, Ananda, somebody like me, I have no idea.
True.
I have so much, and now people tell me, but you know, you must earn. Otherwise, how will you live? No concerts, no katha. I can't live on just the salary of the Rajya Sabha. And already there is a 30% cut.
Yes.
What will I do?
We'll have to figure out ways to monitor. We'll have to, and this can be only done together because the world has changed.
Exactly.
This is what I said. We have to do it together, holding hands. When coming back to your story.
No, Ananda, 1 second.
Okay,
I'll just
ahead.
interrupt you.
Yeah, please.
I am putting the two opposing situations. One is the ideal that we followed, we pursued, 99% of us artists, that it was free sharing. The second, the situation now, the reality. Is there any correction? Can we build a bridge?
Yes.
That is the point that I'm trying to raise.
Powerful point, ma'am, that you raised, that all of us in the field, both seniors, youngsters, all of us together have to come hold hands, as I said, virtually, to ride this out together. But going back once more to your story, ma'am, today there is hope of light at the end of the tunnel in this crisis. There is hope. But as one of my students did this beautiful sketch, dancers, we are almost at the end of the queue. We are at the end of the queue in a very long tunnel with others obviously ahead of us. And the art space, coming back, connecting this to the art space, which is a very unforgiving space. It's got a very short memory, especially performing arts. And invariably, out of
especially Ananda, performing arts, don't put them in the same basket.
Especially
musicians can go on and on.
Yes,
instrumentalists can go on and on, not the dancer.
Correct. Yes. So out of sight, out of mind is something that we've all faced during breaks in our life. How did you, when you had this huge challenge in your life, I'm focusing on that accident. I'm sure you had many, but I'll focus on that. You were at the peak of your career. You were at the top of your game. And then you had to literally come back after a huge 2.5 year break. How difficult was it to reclaim your space? I'm asking this particularly because all of us are going to be forced to take that break. Young dancers out there too. And we'll all be coming back to claim our space. It's going to be difficult. Any insights, ma'am, that we can share with the young there, drawing from your experience?
Ananda, that break happened when I was young.
Okay.
Although at the peak of my career, and that peak has lasted for a long time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the young have years ahead of them.
Right.
They can ride out this 1 or 2 year hiatus, and they can come back.
Yes.
It is for people like you and me, and that group.
Yes.
So again, let's not put everything in the same basket. It's going to be different for different age groups.
Yes.
And that is where the ingenuity, the creativity, the reinventing your talent, how to display it, how to use it will come in. All the time doing varnams and alaripus and kritis and kirtanams and choreographies and ballets is okay.
Right.
What else can you do? Because ballets won't happen. You will not be able to get sponsorships easily unless you are a rich person and you can do it on your own.
Audiences
but to even collect the dancers to get the music done, all that, I'm guessing.
Yes.
So ballets are not choreographies, the huge ones, like you did here, so beautiful.
Thank you.
And others have done. It may be difficult for the coming couple of years.
Yes.
I hope not. I hope not.
Well,
but
audiences
still,
will be an issue. audiences will take time to come, even if we can get funding. So that is a bigger problem that we'll all have to face. And you have very beautifully shown how you have reinvented yourself on Facebook Live, on YouTube, on your workshops. I think we are a huge lesson for all of us to learn. Ma'am, we've come up with something, a little surprise for you. I hope you won't mind. We're calling it Manodharma. Manodharma is what we all do. Manodharma. 3 more words: mudra, mood, metaphor. So I'm going to ask you
Mudra,
mood and metaphor. Mood meaning abhinaya, metaphor meaning
Mudra,
story.
mudra,
mood and metaphor.
Metaphor.
Mood and metaphor.
Metaphor, okay.
Metaphor. Manodharma.
Okay. So
I'm going to ask you 5 questions, which you could respond with a mudra or a mood or a metaphor. 5 questions. It's a little surprise. The first question is one thing you wish you could learn today.
Ayo, Bhagwati, Bhagwati, Bhagwati. That really puts me in a bind because what I wish to learn, I cannot now show you.
Okay. What would you have been if you hadn't been a dancer?
A cook.
Oops. I'm coming home for lunch. One attitude about the young that you really like. Happiness?
Utsaha.
Utsaha. Thank you. A book that defines you.
A book that
defines who you are.
Ayo. Ooh. Sri Devi Bhagwat.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And a last question. There's a 5th question. Your one personal and important style that you will not be seen without. Beautiful eyes, beautiful Bindi. Okay, now one more part of this exciting Manodharma that we have planned is 10 words. I will give you words. You can respond to it in whatever way, mudra or mood. Guru. Technology. Technology. Practice. Practice.
Practice.
Always. Okay. The 4th question is goddess. Goddess. Beautiful. Beautiful. Dhokla. I love it. Superhero. You're searching for them. Nervousness. Never. I love it. App. An app. No app for you?
If you say app as appropriate.
Oh, okay.
APP. Okay.
Okay, fine. App. I meant app. Okay.
I know, but.
Okay, have I done 8? I think so. 1 minute. Okay, done. Love. Finally, India. Wonderful, beautiful, beautiful one. We are almost, around another few minutes. A few words of special advice for all of us that will put us on the road to renewal during these difficult times.
I always find it difficult to advise, good advice. tenacity, never give up hope, go deeper and higher, enhance your skills, think of new ways, be generous and giving, be together, be loving, and give up negativity.
Wow. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. We've got so many words: tenacity, never give up, hope, ingenuity, enhance your skills, and no negativity. I'm looking for questions now. While I hope you're all quickly sending in your questions. Quickly, because we just got a few minutes. Any questions there? Quickly send it out. To me, ma'am, you represent...
Questions?
Oh, there's a first question that's come up. Kripa Ravi has a question for you, and she says, what are some of the skills that we as young dancers need to pick up to thrive in the digital world and to succeed here?
I'm the last person to advise on that because I myself am a newcomer and I'm still sort of, learning to swim.
Okay.
I think the youngsters are very skilled
Right.
in this area. So I think it's not for me to suggest, but dancers have the problem of space.
Right.
On the screen.
Yes.
So one thing is that whatever you do, we should not end up looking awkward and
Yes.
odd.
Yes.
Because that becomes counterproductive.
Correct. Correct.
And I think you all can, your young people, I'm sure they are on YouTube all the time.
Yes.
So you have to see how people elsewhere are dealing with it. The dancers, the ballet dancers, the folk dancers, how they're dealing with it. And maybe we can learn something. I, for myself, am a hopeless. There's no hope in that for me, I think.
But you have managed technology so well, ma'am. You were absolutely fantastic. Technology was really...
As far as speaking is concerned, yes. But the performance space that is difficult. So I'm thinking of maybe I'll take up my Natya Katha again. I don't know.
I think so. That'll work perfectly in the space. It'll work perfectly in the space. Superb. I think, ma'am, my own question has been, I have been such a follower of you. You've been an inspiration for me during my own journeys of challenges. And I'm sure that everyone out there watching this Facebook Live now and maybe later have so many lessons to take back. To me, you represent yata chittam tata vacho, yata vachos tata kriya. Chitte vachi kriyayatmacha sadhu name karupata. You who have shifted the thought, your mind, and action, put them all together. You epitomize that power of the human spirit, which doesn't get lost between the thought, the action, and the word. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Ananda, one thing. Because of that, I have suffered also in life.
Yes.
Because yatha chittam tadha vacham, all that is fine. But again, the courage to stick to what you believe in and take the consequences. Otherwise, idhar kuch hai, idhar kuch hai, idhar kuch hai. Ayo.
Ayo. Right. One more question, and just before we close down, there's a young Kalyani Kumar asks tips for young dancers to combat the crisis. I think, ma'am, you've already said that, how to motivate ourselves. Maybe you can add a couple of words for
you
these
keep
youngsters.
Motivating yourself. I think that's the best thing, Ananda. Tell your young people that even when I was young, I kept motivating myself because there are elements that put you down. Yes. And you have to cut through this. You know the Chakra Vyuha in Mahabharata?
Yes.
So Abhimanyu could get in but couldn't get out. Yes. We are all modern day Abhimanyus. We know how to go in, but we also know how to go out.
Correct.
Okay.
So thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sonal Mansingh ma'am, for so generously sharing and blessing us all today here at Punarnava. Yours is truly a life like no other. It's I know it's the title of your book, but it really means who you are. You're really someone that not just this country, but the whole world should be proud of. Along with all of you,
I was just saying, may Bhagavati Kamakhya Saraswati bless us all. That's all I wanted to say.
Along with all of you, ma'am, what we are all taking away, along with all the ones out there, words that all of you need to remember. I am remembering it about the courage of conviction, facing the world, source of your incredible strength being your culture, your learning, your gurus, your upbringing. Focus on it. Don't let go of it. Giving up is an option you do not have. Making honey not for yourself, but for sharing. Remember to share all the time. Tenacity, never giving up, hope. So many words, so many takeaways for all of us to samskara. Thank you, ma'am. For us to learn, to internalize, to own, and to make our own in this journey that we will all hold our hands together over this crisis and many other crises that life tends to throw at us, because that is the business of life, to challenge us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here. It's really amazing start to Punarnava.